Welcome to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We feature destination races from across the country. And after the race, we take you on a tour of the best local food and beverage to celebrate. So whether you are an elite runner or a back of the packer like us, you'll know the best places to accomplish, explore, and indulge on your next runcation.
Hey everybody, welcome to our next Quick Bite number 86.
This is the bite-sized, fun-sized version of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast where we bring you just a one-off, a little something extra that we recorded while we were on our most recent trip. And this week we are talking about the food from Matanuska Brewpub Downtown in downtown Anchorage, Alaska.
Yes, because they have several different locations. Even though they brew out in Palmer, they have several different brew pubs around Anchorage and in different cities in Alaska. And we were so fortunate to have them, steps away from our hotel.
Literally across the street.
Yeah, it was incredible. They had, their location is like red brick. I mean, you come out of the hotel, you look to your left, we were at a Hilton, and it stands out in the middle of downtown Anchorage.
Yeah, even their color palette, the red brick with the black accent, which they carry through to the interior decor as well.
Yeah.
And the red brick lower part of the building, they're really cool. It looked almost like a wood-burned sign.
Really?
That had the Matanuska Brewpub
logo. Yeah.
And then right above, and like the awning, is where they had the black and then white lettering that just said Brewpub.
All it said was Brewpub. It didn't say Matanuska until you got closer and you saw their logo right next to their door where you would come in and where they had their specials board out front and where you could see their outdoor seating area. And we talked about this last time. We talked about their beer last time.
And if you didn't catch this past week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast, head on over to the website, runeatdrink.net. Check that out under the Watch Now section.
Yes.
You can also catch it on our Facebook page if that's where you prefer to listen to us as well. But we go through the beers that we had. We each did a flight.
Yeah, if you click on shows on our website, you can see our latest episode right now is episode 76, and that would be one of the very first in our show index on that website page. And we just had amazing beer from them, so much so that before we left, we had to explore their food menu.
Well, we had a few hours to kill on our last day there. We flew back on Monday, but we weren't leaving Alaska until almost 7 p.m.
Yeah,
so
super late their time.
We had them store our bags, and we bounced around town, and we were able to check out a couple of places, which we're going to be bringing to you. But we went back over to Matanuska specifically for the food. We had been checking out that menu while we were there during the first portion when we did our flights, took our notes, and were getting ready for that. And we were watching food go to other tables.
It looked awesome.
And we are absolutely those people that if you're sitting at a table next to us and you order something that looks good, we are eyeballing your food.
Yeah, and it's not like we're staring you down. There's something wrong with you. There's
friendly.
Something on your face. It's just that we are jealous or we're suffering from food envy.
Food FOMO.
Food FOMO. Such a perfect way to put it. Hashtag food FOMO.
I think that's our hashtag for the week.
Woohoo!
So we decided to make lunch or early dinner here at Matanuska Brewpub Downtown. Mm-hmm. And we each picked an item so that we could share.
Yeah. And they have kind of starters, and then they have made meal items like sandwiches, burgers, that kind of thing. But we got a flatbread, and then we got a sandwich.
And I'm going to call it elevated pub grub.
I think so.
I think that's fair.
I think so. Because the first thing we got was the Shrimp and Artichoke Flatbread.
Now, mind you, we come from Florida.
Yeah.
I'm born and raised in Florida. You've been here so long, you may as well have been.
Pretty much.
We are real sticklers for seafood. So if we're going out of state, we usually don't go for the seafood option when we're out of state. Usually,
especially having come from the Key West, the Hemingway Sunset 5K that we just did,
Recently.
and having those Key West pinks.
Key West pinks
And the lobster roll
Absolutely.
from DJ's Clam Shack. Oh my God. It's hard to measure up to the quality of seafood we get in this state.
But we decided to take a chance.
Yeah, why not? And this shrimp and artichoke flatbread, it had a crispy flatbread crust. Huge. They were humongous shrimp. They were cooked perfectly. And there were big pieces of artichoke heart, as well as tarragon, mozzarella, sun-dried tomato, capers, and garlic.
When I say that this flatbread had something for everyone,
It does.
it absolutely, I mean that. The crispiness of the flatbread with a nice chew once you get through the outer crunch.
Yeah.
The shrimp, we cannot overstate how perfectly they did their shrimp. Shrimp are really easy to overcook when you're doing them on a pizza.
Yeah.
Pizza ovens are notoriously uneven inside.
It can be a
So
challenge to cook in one of those.
You can end up with just little knots of shrimp-shaped rubber.
Yeah.
Real easy.
But this was not the case.
These were cooked absolutely perfectly. The artichoke hearts, I'm going to give. I think that these artichoke hearts were probably canned or frozen. I don't think they grow a lot of artichoke hearts in Alaska. And
Right.
Somebody's probably going to email us with a Wikipedia link saying no. In fact, the largest Arctic artichoke farm is just outside of Anchorage. But
maybe.
regardless, I love artichoke hearts. I'll eat them straight out of a jar if we're getting them, like pickled. And
I love them.
they were fantastic
Oh my
on this
goodness.
pizza.
Yeah. And the capers, they had that salty bite, and the sun-dried tomato just added some sweetness and a different texture.
Second place we went to up there that was using sun-dried tomatoes. Kind of seems like I don't know if it's a popular regional thing.
I don't know.
Or what, but just something I noticed.
But it's something that I gravitate to. I love the taste of a sun-dried tomato,
Mm-hmm.
especially against the saltiness of the capers or the brininess.
And it wasn't in huge chunks, so it wasn't like you were chewing on
No,
these gummy hunks of sun-dried tomato.
It was strips, very much so like the pizza at Moose's Tooth.
like julienne.
Like julienne. And it created the perfect bite. There wasn't too much on that flatbread, so it didn't fall off. And the cheese, there wasn't too much cheese. Every ingredient was just in the perfect amount to create the perfect bite on each piece of the flatbread.
And you mentioned tarragon.
Oh,
again.
yeah.
Again, tarragon is one of those spices, if you haven't had it a lot, it reminds some people a little bit of a licoricey kind of taste. A little bit goes a long way. They didn't overdo it. And it pairs so nicely with things like tuna and shrimp. It was just the perfect amount on this flatbread.
And the capers. I think it paired very well with the capers.
I love capers, though.
In terms of an accent for the rest of the flavors.
But, the capers brought that salt to it, which is...
Yeah.
And neither one of us had an inkling to reach for a salt shaker.
No, not at all. We were too busy enjoying the flatbread and the beer.
True.
And also the second option that we had.
And the second option we had is the one that I chose, and this is the Alaska pot roast sandwich. Oh, wait, let me back up.
Whoa.
You mentioned, or you jotted it down here in our notes, the cost on that flatbread.
Oh, yeah.
$10.
Yeah, not bad.
And it was absolutely big enough for two people to split.
I mean, before I came to Anchorage, before we went last weekend, I was fully expecting like super high prices. But I think that we've paid $10 for an appetizer here.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, I think that says a lot for the fact that they have a lot of fresh local seafood up there, too.
True enough.
So, anyway, back to mine.
Yes.
The Alaska pot roast sandwich. I cannot understate this enough. This one was a little more expensive. It was $15.
Yeah.
And...
But it was huge.
It was enormous. They bring it out to you in this giant bowl, a flat bowl with kind of the flat edges.
It was almost like a soup bowl.
A big soup, or a big salad bowl, actually.
A salad or soup bowl, yeah.
And what it basically is, it's the simplest thing. It is a giant hunk of pot roast, drenched in gravy, put on a French baguette that's split,
so good.
and then they'd garnish it with some parsley.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's meat,
And gravy.
gravy, and bread.
And,
The pot roast was melt in your mouth tender.
it was so tender. Oh, my goodness.
The gravy was silky. It had just the right amount of salt. It was super beefy. The bread had the perfect amount of crunch on the out on the crust, and the gravy, they put a healthy portion of gravy on it so it softens the inside of the bread. You can attempt to eat this like a sandwich.
Yes, you can.
And we did. We tried.
You tried. I didn't.
It eventually falls apart.
Yeah.
So this is really best
and fork.
eaten as knife and fork, open faced.
Oh,
It is. I described it when we were sitting there. I said, "This is a hug on a plate."
it is. It's so wonderful in terms of comfort food classics. The perfect amount of meat and gravy, and just you can create the perfect bite with your knife and fork, and it's just the perfect amount of saltiness. Sometimes you get a pot roast and it's overly salted,
Or under.
or it's really under and lacking in flavor.
Yep.
But this just had the perfect combination of that pot roast flavor.
I would have loved to have gotten a chance to get back to the kitchen and find out how they were doing their gravy, because that gravy was so rich. I think they used a demi-glace in it.
I don't know.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
And again, $15. I couldn't eat the whole thing by myself.
No, it was good that we got a couple of plates and we split them, because then we could have variety in terms of the seafood and the meat on their menu.
We kind of had a surf and turf.
Yeah. And it was just perfect. And I feel like, here's the question I want to ask you.
Uh-oh.
Right? Because I know what beer you had, but with this Alaska pot roast sandwich, what would be the perfect beer for you?
I want to go back and have this when it's cold outside.
Yeah.
And I want the Alaska pot roast sandwich and a big pint of their deep powder porter.
Yeah.
I think that would be probably my ideal pairing of those two items.
Amazing.
And being, coming in from outside when it's cold and it's warm in there, and then you're eating that, and that's warming you up on the inside. And, that pot roast flavor, is very, for me anyway, it is very much like something that reminds me of my childhood.
It is.
And to have
for
that
me too.
with that fantastic beer that I talked about, that the flavors open up as it warms up a little bit.
That's true. You did talk about that.
I think that would be an amazing pairing. How about you?
I think with the shrimp and the artichoke flatbread, I would love to have the magnitude 9.2.
Oh, yeah. A little bit of citrus kick to go with the seafood.
Yes. I think they would pair perfectly. And just, you have the brininess of the shrimp and the citrus and the beer. Amazing.
So if you want to hear more about those beers in detail, check out this week's episode. Go back to runeatdrink.net.
Yep.
Click on the button for Watch Now. And that's the most recent episode.
For the shows.
That'll be that'll be up on the website. It'll be right under this quick bite.
Yeah.
And go to that.
And it's episode number 76.
Check that episode out, and you can hear all about those two beers and the others that we each had in our flights as well.
But really, I mean, they had a fantastic menu, both beer-wise and food-wise. I would go back in a heartbeat. I feel like if we lived locally there, we would be there all the time.
Well, we mentioned that in the show. That is the kind of place. The wait staff was super cool. Yeah. Everybody we talked to was really nice, and just we developed a really quick rapport with the bartender, with the servers.
Wait staff, yeah. They
Fantastic.
were great.
They really were. So I can't recommend this place highly enough.
But that's not all we had. We had such amazing experiences in Anchorage. We can't wait to share the rest of what we had in terms of accomplishing at the half marathon at the Anchorage RunFest, and the exploration and the indulgence in all of the food and beverage that we still have to share with you.
We've got some good stuff coming up on tomorrow's episode.
Oh, we do.
So
we do.
Stay tuned for that, everybody.
Yes, please subscribe. Go to runeatdrink.net and click on Apple Podcasts or the Google Music, Google Play, and subscribe or wherever your podcasts happen to be served. Please subscribe so that you can hear some of this awesome journey that we had in Anchorage, Alaska.
We want to give you guys the ideas for places for you to go for your next runcation.
Absolutely. And if you have suggestions for us, you can always reach out with a tip, trick, recommendation for races, food, and beverage in your hometown or wherever you have accomplished, explored, and indulged. Email us at info@runeatdrink.net or give us a call and leave us a message at 941-677-2733. Let us know where you're from. Let us know who you are and your recommendation, and we will make you Run, Eat, Drink podcast famous.
Yeah, keep it to about a minute, and we'd love to have you join us on the next episode.
Absolutely. So again, it's 941-677-2733 or info@runeatdrink.net.
Well, guys, thanks for listening to this quick bite. The next full episode is coming up tomorrow.
Yes.
So keep an eye out for that. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we will talk to you guys real soon.
Take care. We'll talk to you soon. Yeah.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We're having a great third year because of your support. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Run, Eat, Drink Podcast. And on Twitter, we're at Run, Eat, Drink Pod. You can also give us a call at 941-677-2733 or shoot us an email at info@runeatdrink.net. Visit our website at runeatdrink.net and click on the subscribe link so you don't miss a minute. Accomplish, explore, and indulge right along with us. We'll talk to you next time.